This is a Target Corona, and this, well, it's a bike wheel, isn't it? But what if I told you that for around 20 quid, I could show you guys how to make your own dartboard lighting setup similar to the Corona from home? Nice. You probably think I'm talking, but if I have hooked you, then stay tuned and I'll show you how. My name's Ross and welcome to Clash of Tungsten. If you've been here before, you're probably sick to death of what I always do in my intros. So for this one, I'm not going to do it. What I will say is, if you do enjoy the video content that you do see today, then please consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss another darts related video. Just hit it, it's literally there. Just click it and it's done. And I won't keep pestering you and bothering you with that. So just do it. I absolutely love my Target Corona lighting surround. It's a great addition to my darts setup, but there is one massive problem with it. It ain't cheap. It's around 60 quid to buy. Essentially all it is a bit of plastic with an LED strip in it. And obviously what's going on in the world at the moment, especially in the UK with the lockdown just announced again, more people are going to be at home. Because the World Championships have just been on, more people are going to be wanting to get into darts. January is usually a skint month for people. So this got the old cogs in the brain thinking on how to make a budget-friendly dartboard lighting surround from home with really basic tools. I think I've come up with something that's alright, like fairly usable. Most of the items that you are going to need for this build can be acquired from your local hardware stores such as Screwfix, Toolstation, Wix, that sort of thing. I'll leave everything in description for you and let you know the pricing as we go on with the video. So without further ado, let's crack on and see all the ingredients we need to make it. Right guys, so I've got everything we need here just laid out on the table. So let's go through everything we need. So the first thing is a bicycle rim. I'm going to say that this is free because this didn't actually cost me anything whatsoever. I was given this by a friend and it was just out in his garden, just rusted away, so he said that I could use it. This is actually 26 inch, so this will give us a nice sort of distance away from the board. Anything any smaller, then you're going to probably be encroaching the board a bit more, so 26 inch is going to be perfect for what we need. Do a bit of skip diving, but don't be an idiot and go and steal from someone's bike in a town centre. That wouldn't be good, would it? This has been despoked and you will have to do that. Next is these LED strips. This is a 5 metre reel, but you do not need 5 metres. You need a 2 metre reel for a 26 inch rim. This is all they had in stock, so I went with this. Well, £12.11, but you can source them cheaper. These have really good reviews on Amazon, so that's them. Angle brackets. These come from Wix and they're adjustable, as you can see here. Price on these were 96p each, and you are going to need 3 of them at least. You can use 4 if you like. For this build, I'm just going to use 3. Next thing we need is an old set of darts. This is actually how we're going to mount the rim to our board. You need stems on there as well, but it doesn't matter whether they're broken or not. It's just basically to stabilise the surround to the board. We've got a set of M4 washers. Price on these were 89p, and I think you get 100 in there. Next, we've got some M4 40mm countersunk bolts. Countersunk head just helps it sit within the spoke hole so that obviously your LEDs don't protrude so far out from the rim and it looks ugly. These are from Screwfix and these are £2.97, and I think again you get quite a few in there. And finally, you're going to need some M4 nuts. These come in a bag of 100 and they're from Toolstation for 55p. This in total, I've estimated at around £20.11. I will leave a link for everything in the description so you can go ahead and buy the things that I have, obviously apart from the rim and the darts. So these are the tools that we're going to need to make the darts surround. First thing is a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. Either an adjustable spanner or a set of pliers, a set of scissors. It's not a necessity as such. A drill with a Phillips head bit and a flathead bit will speed up the process of this whole thing. So if you are wanting to make your light surround look a lot nicer, then you can obviously spray it. For this video, I'm not going to bother doing that just so that I can, get this all done nice and quickly for you guys. But as an optional extra, you can obviously grab some primer and some black spray paint if that's your sort of thing, or a different colour if you fancy doing it in a different colour. I am actually going to be attaching this to my dart surround itself. Depending on if you have a surround or not, then you may have to mount this to the wall. So again, as another optional extra, you are going to need the relevant fixtures and fittings for how you're going to mount it. You may need raw plugs, masonry drill bits and set of screws. So the first thing that we need to do before we start actually building this surround is to remove the spokes from the rim. And this is really easy to do and shouldn't take you any more than 10 minutes or so. What you need to do is actually put the wheel somewhere flat, or you can clamp it in a vise and go around all the spokes and remove them. There's what's known as a nipple that goes through the rim, which meets the spoke, and then you secure the nipple to the spoke, and that's what gives you the strength. All that you need to do is grab a flathead screwdriver or the flathead drill bit and just literally go around and zap them all off. So once you've removed the spokes from the rim, it should look a little bit more like this. What I recommend doing before we even start building is just to grab either like a wipe or a rag with some cleaner on there, and just to go around the rim and just make sure it's all nice and clean. So once all the rim's clean, we're going to now add the brackets to it. We're going to actually use the adjustable side here so that if we need to move it, we can. What we're going to do is actually grab our M4 bolt, place it through the inner side of the rim, and so it protrudes out here, and then we're going to butt the bracket against the rim there and then secure it with washers and a bolt. Depending on how thick your rim is, because you might have a single or double walled rim, you might need to use more washers in here. That's the next step. Let's get it done. Right, so that's the first bracket on. We are going to obviously have to add another 2 brackets as well as the one that we've already got on there. So I want 2 brackets at the bottom and 1 at the top to hold it in place. It doesn't really matter where the first one is, obviously, because you can work it out from there. This one is going to be my bottom right one, so I'm going to count 8 spoke holes along, and that will give me my position for my next bottom one, so that'll be around here somewhere. And then I've gone with 20 from this one to give me the positioning for the top one just up here. I've not secured this completely tight because I am going to push this up to the top here on the adjustable bracket. Next thing to do then is to just add the other 2 brackets. That's all our brackets on and in position. They look pretty evenly spaced out to me. All that we've got to do now is literally just adjust the brackets so that they're at the top. Right, so that's everything nice and tight now. I think it's looking pretty good. This now, if you are wanting to spray it, is the best time to do it. The next step we're actually going to do is to secure the LED strip around the edge of the rim. You can't really be spraying it with that on. I'm not going to do it because I don't really care what it looks like, as long as it's functional, then that's all I'm worried about. The next step is adding the LED strip. So this is the LED strip that I personally chose, and there's a couple reasons. If we open the box, the LED light itself actually comes on like a wheel like this, and what you do is you undo the part that you need, which is obviously starting at the end with the plug on the end. On the back of the LED is an adhesive strip. So what we need to do is actually peel this off as we go around the rim. This is a really good quality one that obviously comes with a dimmer switch. If it's too bright, we can dim it down, just like the Target Corona. Also, some of them do come with a USB adapter, and I didn't want that, so I went with just a standard plug in the wall. Also in the box we get these little sticky strips, but we aren't going to be needing these because we're going to just be using the backing that's on the LED themselves. And let's get this mounted. So once you've stuck basically all of it down, what I would recommend is to just go back and just make sure any bits that look a bit dicey are all fixed. You should be met up with the other side here now, and you'll probably notice as you go along, you can see loads of sort of little dots and symbols and stuff on the LED strip itself. These LED strips are actually cuttable, and they have what's known as cut lines. So you can see these bits of copper here. So what we actually need to do now is to basically complete the circuit is to snip where these lines are drawn through the copper. So let's do that. So that's it. That is basically everything done. The only thing that we've really got to do now is test and make sure it works. So really, this is the moment of truth. So let's get it plugged in. I'm actually really happy with this, and I think this is going to work amazingly well. You probably can't see from the video, but this is very bright. Really, all that's left to do now is go whack it on the board. I'm back up my board now, and the only thing left to do is to get this bad boy mounted up. So you guys might be wondering why I said that you needed these darts for the build. Because we're going to use these darts to actually mount the ring light to our surround. We're going to take our dart, put them through the bracket like this, and then we're going to put the point of the dart into our surround. And this will just give us a spacing that we need away from the board, because if we don't have spacing, then this is going to sit pretty much flush with the board. By giving us a spacing, it's not going to give us any nasty shadows from like the numbering or anything that we don't want. Let's get it done. Obviously you want your lead to be at the bottom. Literally just going to put the first dart in through there like that. Poke it into my surround. Do the same with the next one. Poke that in there, and then obviously all that's left to do is the top, which is the worst for me because I'm like 5'1". There we go, all mounted up, lovely. That's pretty solid, if I'm honest. As long as our surround stays, that isn't going anywhere. I reckon that will stay up there forever. If you are a bit worried that it's not going to stick there, then what you can do is always just whack some cable ties around the back of the stem there on the bracket, but all that's left to do now is get it turned on. And there we have it, guys. A dart light surround for 20 quid. I'm well happy with that. And for 20 quid, it's literally a no-brainer to make this. I'm just well happy with it. I'm just gonna go throw some darts now because I want to play. I don't know what to say. I can't stop smiling. I don't know what I'm happier about, really. I think the reason that I'm so happy with it is because I don't think I've ever made anything that's actually worked. I'm just a bit shell-shocked that for 20 quid I made something that actually works. I'm amazed. I'm literally amazed. What better way to test it out than throwing some absolutely mediocre darts? Oh, there it is. 41, 43, 41. That is nice and secure. That is... It's actually a lot more secure than I thought it was originally gonna be. Oh, first 100 on the old new surround. Can't write it, can you? Darts Ref bought a £1,000 Scolia, and there's me thinking 60 quid's too dear. That made me own 20 quid darts around. I bet you wish he bought one of these now, rather than a Scolia. Nah, I bet he didn't. It's literally like the Target Corona. Not a shadow. Not one shadow. Look, put your hand anywhere. No shadows projected on the board whatsoever. I can't stop smiling. I just can't believe how good it is for 20 quid. It's the best 20 quid I've ever spent. Yes! Obviously what I'm going to need is a name for it. So in the comments below, leave a good name for the surround. I have done a couple of little adjustments to it. So I've actually made sure that the hole for the valve on the bike rim is right at the bottom. I cut the end of the LED where the wires are and actually threaded that through the hole and resoldered it and attached it to the LED strip. That way it looks a lot cleaner and it actually comes through the hole nicely. Unfortunately on this rim, the actual adapter that takes a dimmer switch wouldn't fit through, so I would either have had to drill the rim or I would have had to do what I'd done and splice the connections. So I thought it would be okay just to splice the connections and then just wire up the positive and negative. Oh, I thought I had my first 180 on my new surround. Ah! So that's how to make a dartboard lighting setup from home on a real tight budget. If you guys have any ideas on how to improve this and make it better, then I'd love to hear down in the comments below. Also, if you do have your own DIY LED light, I'd love to see how you guys have made it too. So I'm around the 700 subscriber mark at the moment, but my aim is to reach 1,000 by the end of February. So if you guys do have any dart friends that you're happy to share this video with, then please do, because it really does help out the channel. I really appreciate you guys joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one.